Here's a psychological truth you're not ready for. A jealous friend doesn't attack you directly. They don't criticize you. They don't insult you. They do something far more dangerous. They interrogate you. They ask questions that sound innocent, normal, even caring. But beneath every single one of these questions lies insecurity, comparison, and silent resentment. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify these questions, understand the psychology behind them, and most importantly, protect yourself from the emotional manipulation that comes with them. Because here's what nobody tells you. The people closest to you can sometimes be the ones secretly hoping you don't succeed. Stay with me. What I'm about to reveal will change how you see every conversation from now on. Before we dive deep, I need to say something from the heart. We recently crossed 1,000 subscribers, and I'm genuinely grateful, not just for the number, but because it means that over 1,000 people out there value psychological insight, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. You're not here for surface-level advice. You're here because you understand that psychology is power. When you understand human behavior, you stop being a victim of it. So thank you for watching, for sharing, for being part of a community that refuses to stay blind to manipulation. Now let's get into the first layer of value. Why do jealous friends use questions instead of direct attacks? The answer is rooted in something called plausible deniability. Here's how it works. If someone insults you directly, they're exposed. You can call them out. You can defend yourself. But if they phrase their jealousy as a question, they have an escape route. I was just curious. I didn't mean it that way. You're being too sensitive. This is psychological warfare disguised as conversation. And the brain does this unconsciously. When someone feels threatened by your success, their ego activates a defense mechanism. They can't handle the cognitive dissonance of feeling inferior while still wanting to see themselves as supportive. So what does the brain do? It externalizes the insecurity. Instead of saying, "I feel threatened by your progress," they say, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Same emotion, different packaging. And the most dangerous part, most people don't even realize they're doing it. That's why you can't always confront them directly. They genuinely believe they're being helpful. Their jealousy is hidden even from themselves. But you're going to learn to see through it, because understanding the psychology behind these questions gives you something most people never have: clarity. And with clarity comes control. Now, if you're finding value in this already, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is dedicated to teaching you the psychology that schools don't, the insights that protect you from manipulation, and the self-awareness that transforms your relationships. And if you're already seeing past conversations in a new light, leave a like. It helps more people discover this content. And here's the thing, if you've ever experienced one of these questions from someone you trusted, drop a comment below. Let's build a space where people can share their experiences without judgment. Because you're not alone in this. These dynamics happen to everyone. The difference is, now you're learning to recognize them. All right, let's move into the core psychology. This is where things get deep. Let's break down the 7 most common questions a jealous friend will ask you. These aren't random. They follow a pattern. And once you see the pattern, you'll never unhear it. Question number 1. And with that thing you're doing, is it really going well? At first, this sounds normal, maybe even kind, but psychologically, this is a loaded question. They're not asking how you feel. They're asking if your success is real or temporary. The hidden subtext is, tell me if I should take you seriously, or if I can keep seeing myself as above you. A genuine friend celebrates the process. A jealous friend needs confirmation that your progress threatens their identity. That's why this question often comes with uncomfortable silences, evaluative stares, or follow-up comments, like, "Oh, I thought it was something bigger," or, "Well, let's see how long it lasts." This isn't curiosity. This is defensive comparison. And here's the psychological truth nobody wants to admit. When you succeed, their brain starts asking, "What does this say about me?" Your win becomes their existential crisis. Let me give you a real example. Imagine you start a side business. You're excited. You share it with a close friend. And instead of saying, congratulations, or that's amazing, they say, and is it really going well? Is it making money yet? You feel the energy shift. You feel yourself wanting to defend it, to prove it. That's the trap, because now you're in a position where you have to justify your dreams to someone who isn't even rooting for you. A true friend would say, I'm proud of you for starting. A jealous friend needs proof that you're not surpassing them. Question number 2. And who helped you with that? This question seems harmless, but the intention is crystal clear: to diminish your merit. A jealous mind cannot tolerate a narrative where you are competent on your own. They need to introduce the idea that your achievement isn't really yours. Your progress depended on someone else. Your success isn't authentic. Psychologically, this is called merit displacement. If it wasn't you, then there's no threat. If it wasn't your ability, then their ego can rest. A healthy friend says, I'm happy you achieved that. A jealous friend needs to know who else was behind it. This happens because the human brain protects identity at all costs. When someone close to you progresses, automatic comparisons activate. Why them and not me? What does this say about me? Am I falling behind? And instead of processing these questions internally, the jealous person externalizes them toward you, disguised as conversation. They're not seeking answers. They're seeking emotional relief. Think about it. You land a big opportunity. You worked for months. You sacrificed. You improved. And when you share the news, instead of celebration, you hear, oh, wow. So who connected you? Who introduced you? It's as if your effort, your persistence, your skill didn't matter. As if you got lucky. As if you didn't earn it. That's not support. That's resentment wrapped in curiosity. Question number 3. Doesn't that scare you? This is the most dangerous of all. Not because it sounds negative, but because it plants doubt. This isn't real concern. This is projection. They're asking you about the fear they feel, the insecurity they don't face, the risk they don't dare to take. The hidden message is, I wouldn't dare to do that. Why would you? And if you fall into the trap, you start justifying yourself, explaining, minimizing your dreams, exactly what their insecurity needed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A jealous friend doesn't want to see you fail. They want to see you just slightly below them. That's the sweet spot where their ego feels safe. Let me paint the picture. You decide to quit your stable job to pursue your passion. It's terrifying, but you're doing it anyway. And when you tell them, they don't say, I believe in you. They say, doesn't that scare you? What if it doesn't work? Don't you think that's too risky? They're not protecting you. They're protecting themselves from the discomfort of watching you be brave while they stay safe. Question number 4. Do you really think you can handle that? On the surface, this sounds like concern, but it's actually preemptive sabotage. They're planting the seed that you're not capable, that you're in over your head, that you should reconsider. Why? Because if you doubt yourself, they don't have to feel threatened. This question is a subtle form of gaslighting. It makes you question your competence without them ever saying you're not good enough. And the worst part? It works, because doubt is contagious. When someone you trust questions your ability, your brain starts scanning for evidence that they might be right. That's how manipulation hides in plain sight. You get accepted into a program, a promotion, a new challenge. Instead of congratulations, you hear, wow, do you really think you can handle that? That's a lot of responsibility. Are you sure you're ready? Now you're second guessing. Now you're afraid. And they didn't have to be mean. They just had to make you doubt yourself. Question number 5. Isn't that kind of risky? Again, this sounds like concern, but what they're really saying is, I'm too afraid to take risks like that, so you should be too. This is a projection of their own limitations onto your life. People who play it safe often feel uncomfortable around people who take bold action, because every step you take forward is a reminder of the steps they didn't take. Your courage triggers their regret. And instead of dealing with that internally, they try to slow you down externally. Here's what this looks like in real life. You're about to invest in yourself. a course, a coach, a new skill. You're excited. But when you tell them, they say, "Isn't that kind of expensive? Isn't that risky? What if it doesn't pay off?" They're not being realistic. They're being fearful. And they want you to shrink back into the comfort zone where they live. Because if you grow, it highlights the fact that they're standing still. Question number 6. What if it doesn't work out? This is fear disguised as realism. They're not preparing you for failure. They're hoping for it. Because if you fail, their decision to stay small feels validated. Their inaction feels justified. And if you succeed, it forces them to confront their own excuses. That's why this question feels heavy. It's not about you. It's about them protecting their worldview. Imagine this scenario. You're launching something, a project, a product, a dream. You're nervous, but committed. And they say, "But what if it doesn't work out? What's your backup plan? Have you thought about what happens if you fail?" They frame it as being responsible, but really, they're hoping you second-guess yourself, because your failure makes their stagnation acceptable. Question number 7. Are you sure you're not just getting lucky? This is the final blow, the ultimate dismissal of your effort, skill, and strategy. By attributing your success to luck, they strip away your agency, minimize your competence, and protect their ego from comparison. Because if you're just lucky, then your success doesn't threaten their identity. A genuine friend celebrates your wins and learns from your process. A jealous friend needs to believe your success is an accident. You close a deal. You hit a milestone. You achieve something meaningful. And instead of respect, you hear, "Wow, you got lucky, huh? Right place, right time. Must be nice." As if your preparation didn't matter. As if your consistency didn't count. As if you didn't earn every bit of it. That's not humility. That's dismissal. And it says everything about them and nothing about you. Now notice the theme. Every single question is designed to doubt your capability, diminish your achievement, and discourage your momentum. This isn't support. This is sabotage. And the scariest part? Most of the time, they don't even know they're doing it. Their insecurity runs so deep, it speaks for them. So what do you do when you recognize these questions? Here's the key. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your ambition. Not all questions deserve a deep answer. When you detect these patterns, don't confront, don't attack, don't justify. Respond with calm, with brevity, with internal security. Because the real power isn't in convincing them, it's in not needing their validation. If someone genuinely celebrates you, you'll feel it. And if someone interrogates you more than they support you, you'll feel that too. Here's something you need to understand. Jealousy often comes from people who are closest to you. Not strangers, not enemies, but friends, family, colleagues, people who love you, but who also compare themselves to you. And that comparison breeds resentment, even when they don't want it to. So protect your energy. Share your wins with people who clap for you. And keep your dreams private from people who question them. Because your journey is not a courtroom. You don't need to defend your decisions to people who aren't even on your side. Remember, the people who are meant to be in your life will support you without needing proof. They'll believe in you before you succeed, and they'll celebrate you when you do. But those who ask these questions, they're not your people. At least not on in this season, and that's okay. You're allowed to outgrow relationships. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to choose yourself. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone asks you one of these questions, pause. Notice the energy behind it. Notice how it makes you feel. And instead of defending yourself, simply smile and say, "I'm figuring it out." Or, "I'm excited to see where this goes." You don't owe them more than that. And remember this. Jealous people don't want to know how you're doing. They want to know if they're still ahead of you. Psychology tells us that when someone feels inferior, they seek information to regulate their self-esteem by comparing themselves to you. Don't feed that cycle. Protect your peace. Protect your progress. And keep moving forward. If this video made you see past conversations with new eyes, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. This channel is all about teaching you the psychology nobody explains so you can understand people better, protect yourself from manipulation, and most importantly, never doubt yourself again because of questions that were never innocent. Thank you for being here. Thank you for valuing depth, awareness, and truth. And if you want to go even deeper, check out the next video where I break down how to spot a manipulator in seconds, even when they call themselves your friend. I'll see you there.